Distinguished gentlemen, today is exciting because we have a 1/6 scale crawler. It's the new Vertex-6 from Redcat, and it is brushless. It comes with the 2-in-1 Hobby Wing Fusion system. It says it has selectable overdrive, and it comes with this big old honkin' servo. Now the side of the box is giving us all sorts of info, and some of the features it says forward mounted motor, multiple battery mounting options, adjustable suspension, durable 4mm ladder frame, and quick access tilt body system. Now we've got beadlock wheels. I think maybe they're plastic, and the tires are 7 inches in diameter. Solid axles, steel tube inserts inside. Down here for our 4-link suspension, which means it's also kind of a servo on axle. These links are tapered. X-ring seals in the shocks and air emulsion style shocks with what looks like all aluminum parts. Here's some more info on the selectable overdrive, which you probably just use a button on the transmitter to select. On the front axles, it's a double jointed axle, which is really nice and helps with having smoothness while turning at the most extreme angles. And then down here, we just have some more of our features. Ground clearance, 90mm, high clearance links, and then the body tilting from the back. And then on the side of the box, it just says it includes the truck and a 4-channel transmitter, and then you need batteries for that transmitter, and then a 3 or 4 cell LiPo. And a bit more artwork showing the truck, low, wide, very comp crawler-esque. All right. There we have it. My gosh. So first thing, we've got some documentation, some extra wheel hubs. There's some tools in there, a Velcro strap for our battery. Look at that. Holy smokes. So here's our 4-channel transmitter. You can see on the top, we've got a bunch of various trims and adjustments. On the side handle, channel 3 is a push button. Channel 4 here is a little bit of a 3-position like toggle. And then there's an LED button right above that. Do we have LEDs? Not quite sure. Transmitter feels all right. RTX 4C. And look at this thing, guys. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is massive. For a size comparison, here it is against our 10 scale crawler, and then an Ascent 18 from Redcat. And you can just about put that in the bed of the truck. Now for our overall length, we're looking at about 26 inches, a wheelbase of about 19, and a width of 16. Now for the tires, they are just about 7 inches, and this is really soft rubber. There's some foam inserts inside, but there's big lugs. They're super soft. And then we're gonna have black plastic wheels, and then all the wheels have this little partial decal. Now we've got 17mm hex. Oh wow, those, And popping that off, you can see that we do have a metal 17mm hex. And then on the back side of this 2.9-inch wheel, there are screws. It is a beadlock. Now this is a Lexan body with decals on it, like this matte black. I actually think this matte black is painted on the outside, blue painted on the inside. And then these are actual stickers on here, these stripes, and then that logo. We've got little plastic retainers for the clipless body system, because there are no exposed body clips, with more in the back, more decals, and you can see there are some nice hard plastic molded bumpers on the front and rear as well. And then an assortment of decals to give the body a little bit more scale detail. Now to get this body off, there is a little bit of a latch back here that we believe rotate. Yep, rotate it, and then it just pulls straight out. And then the whole body should just hinge from the front. No, I'm wrong. It does not hinge at all. I think instead, we push it forward. There we go. So the underside of the body has this like tongue groove that fits underneath this bar between our chassis rails. Now look at this chassis. These are 4mm thick chassis rails, and Redcat says it has an LCG design to it. It looks extremely spacious inside this chassis, and you can see that we have a front battery tray with a Velcro strap, but we do have the 2 side guards that we could put batteries on as well. We have a receiver box here. Now we do have an XT60 connector, and then underneath it, we have a mini servo, and that's gonna control the 33% underdrive. This is a pretty beefy and burly transmission as well with our motor plate here. And then the motor, you can't even see it. So we got to flip the truck over and take a peek. We have this big old skid plate under here, which is angled, by the way, which is really nice. But you can see our motor is underneath there, and the end bell on the motor is the ESC. And it's an 1800 kV motor. This is a 3 and 4S LiPo system, and it comes with the BE set to 8.4 volts. Redcat says with that motor forward design that it gives it more front weight bias, and in the stock configuration, it's got a 57 front weight bias, 43 in the rear. But if you add the optional front axle weights, then it changes it to a 60% in the front. It seems like the truck has quite a bit of a high stance right now. There's no battery in it, so that'll sink it down a bit. When you lift it up, it has a little bit of a sag to it, which is kind of nice. But the really impressive thing is that when you lift it up and flex it over, it seems pretty dang planted. Now these are aluminum shocks. They have aluminum top caps. There's a little bleeder screw right there, and then they are a threaded body, but it's about a half threaded body design with this aluminum chamfered collar. And then at the bottom, the spring perch, that is going to be plastic with a plastic shock end. That shock shaft looks pretty thick, probably about 5 mils. And the shocks overall do feel pretty smooth. And yeah, they're really impressive shocks, and they look really nice too. And then we have metal center drive shafts, and these are splined and telescoping. They've got tapered ends to help them slide on the front and the rear. Now the steering is also using metal links. These are tapered again, and then you can see our solid axle underneath. It is a pretty nice design. These are not portal axles, they're straight. And then inside in the front, double jointed drive shafts. So they're gonna be pretty dang smooth. And then the axles front and rear have those steel tubes inside to make them stronger. And then they're just heavy. So it's gonna help lower the center of gravity of the truck. There's our big old servo on the front axle. Aluminum steering horn. Here's our rear straight axle. And it looks pretty dang nice. Now Redcat actually sent us the front axle weights, and these weights have little slugs that you put in these holes, and if you use the slugs and the weights together, it'll add 141 grams per corner, or 97 grams if you only use these black weights. And we're gonna use these, but first, let's test the truck in the stock configuration. So for battery, we're gonna use this 1800 milliamp hour 4-cell, and Redcat says that if you use a 2200 milliamp hour 4-cell, and then you put it in the right side bay, that the truck will have a perfect 50-50 right and left weight balance, which is interesting because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of stuff on the left side that you would need to balance out, unless maybe it's just this transmission, the extra gears. You can see it's a little bit offset, although we do have the extra servo over here, but that's pretty tiny and lightweight. Okay. It's beeping. It's very quiet. See those double joints turn all the way. Yeah, that's super smooth in the front. See throttle precision. It's pretty smooth. It is going extremely slow. Okay, let's test out the overdrive. So right now the front and rear tires are in sync, 0% underdrive. I always say overdrive, Redcat calls it underdrive. And I believe it's this button here on the transmitter. We'll hit it. And now we should have 33% activated in the front. It is spinning quite a bit faster. I'll hit the button one more time. Should be back to 0. So we got 53 degrees right there. Oh, it's smooth. Oh yeah, no problem. 58 degrees, that's a big jump. And I should mention that right now the truck does have the overdrive or underdrive engaged. Oh yeah, 61 degrees. No. Going real smooth and slow. Okay, let's try to get a lean angle. What's that, 50.5 degrees? I think the board just leaned down a little bit when I put the truck on. Let's double check. Yeah, that's 50 degrees. 52.7. 51 is too much. So 50 degrees, max lean angle. Really nice. Those lugs fit in there flush. Really good looking. So on the scale, this weighs 140, and then it installs on the front steering at the very bottom. And finished product. They fit on there with no issues, and overall, that is rad. There's 61.5. Let's see if we increased our lean angle at all. There's 51. It's 50.5. Board moved a little bit when I put the truck on. It's almost 50. Oh. Let's do a turning radius test in this parking spot, and it measures about 8 feet 8 inches. And the difference between having underdrive and 0% isn't that big, but the 33% underdrive is tighter, and it shaves off about 8 inches or so. For the speed test, we didn't use a GPS speed meter, but you can see the truck is much faster than a walking pace at 100% throttle, and probably faster than a jogging pace. This was with 0% underdrive. For the actual crawling, the truck is fan-freaking-tastic. It's worth noting this is our 110 scale course. It's not meant for large scale trucks, and most of the lines here were a cakewalk for the Vertex. The biggest issue was rocks catching the front axle because these lines were made for 110 scale width, and the Vertex is way wider than that. On the course overall, though, it is kind of easy, and we eventually had to create our own lines, attempting areas that were never intended to be crawled, and the Vertex-6 did not disappoint. The truck was set at 33% underdrive the whole time, and if you can't tell, it is an absolute beast. The big tire lugs are soft, and you can hear them sometimes clawing on the rocks, and they worked great. The truck has a really nice low center of gravity. The suspension has huge flex, and it traverses the terrain with extreme stability. It's very confidence-inspiring. Just had to go around that rock. The treads on these tires are really soft. You can hear them just clawing at these rocks. It's just effortless going up. know what's on the other side. Overall, the platform on this truck is just superb. It's so good that if this platform had been released in 10 scale size, it would be one of the best performing ready-to-run crawlers you could buy. The fact that they made it large scale just makes it more exciting. 1/6 scale is loud and in charge, and when it moves, everybody watches. The truck is just absolutely incredible, and on 4S, and I assume 3S too, it is scary powerful when you let it rip. And one wrong move and this truck could hurt someone. So it's definitely not for beginners. But for anyone who is more experienced, wants one of the most capable jaw-dropping crawler experiences, the Vertex-6 is recommended, and it's genuinely the funnest crawler experience I've had so far. The worst thing that you can say about it is it requires a lot of space to work on and store, and you won't want to be caught carrying it around very far. So bring extra batteries when you go crawling in the bush. Guys, go check out the Vertex-6 right now with our links down below. I'm Brett from AMain Hobbies, and thanks for watching.